Morning. Oh, so this is day 10. Day 10. Wow. So there are, prior to this one, there's 10 videos on Urban Agoge now. Now I might have to go back and sort out the first couple of videos and replace them, or even delete them, because I think a lot of people have watched the first few ones with photographs and decided that they're not going to watch the rest of it, so that could be a problem. I'm just trying to get it out to as many people out there as possible. I'm so set on making this accessible, and so I was so set on just getting it done that I probably could have done a better job if I'd waited a couple of days and got a bit more prepared. But that's everybody, isn't it? Do you get it prepared? Do you wait till you're in the perfect place? Or do you just get started? I'm more of the get started, do it badly and slowly improve, which is what I'm trying to do with this series. But yeah, if you've got any better ideas, or ideas how I can make those first few videos a bit more appealing, let me know. I've spent some time sorting out the thumbnails. Excuse me for looking away. It's a pretty steep slope. If I die, you don't get any more videos. So yeah, so I'm just having a little bit of a wander around. Thought I'd come down to the bit where I filmed my first short film, Golf November Tango. Have a little bit of a look around. Ducks! Got ducks. So yeah. So I haven't got anything, well, it's not like I ever have anything profound to say, ever, but I'm just threading through the trees and the woods. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to make something that I would watch, which is pretty egocentric, or that is useful. I'm a pretty hard to motivate sort of a person. I mean, I'm easy to infuse, but as far as actually motivating to do stuff, that's always a bit harder for me. Anyway, so I want to see if I want to do a test bed for different practices. Things like meditation and yoga and stuff like that. Loads of people do it, and loads of people do the whole power of positive thinking thing. And I've always thought that given that these people always write books, like really long books, there must be something to it in that whole, but I suspect some of it is other people are smarter than I am. And although this is kind of self-help, I don't know. I'm sort of in that question everything place. What if, people claim there's a spiritual component to yoga. Who am I to say? But there again, people say there's a spiritual component to everything. And the sorts of philosophies that do it are in a kind of, you know, they're very much a know your place type thing. You know, I don't think that any of those religions, any of the major religions, started off meaning to oppress anybody. In fact, those religions started off when people were oppressed. You know, first followers of Islam, first danger, Will Robinson. First followers of Christianity, first followers of Buddhism, probably even the first, you know, followers of Confucianism. Although Confucianism is, you know, a very good way of making you happy, despite what life throws at you, there's a little bit of me that sort of says, well, you know, if everybody had, you know, a decent life, you wouldn't need too many techniques. You wouldn't need to invest a lot of time or philosophical energy in turning that frown upside down. You know, so everything seems to be in a kind of a manner, a sort of a mindset of your life is poo, and you know, we have techniques and plans to make your life less poo, you know, but we're not going to change the poo-ness of it. We're going to change the way you look at it. Sorry, I am literally going over across the stream. Look at this. This is probably not the best, you know, time to be filming, but you know, I like exploring. I like a little bit of a physical challenge. I like having to work out ways above and around and over things. I've always been impressed, you know, by smarter heroes, you know, that weren't necessarily the best warriors, but you know, were, you know, they got round things based on how smart they were. I'm not even sure I can get up here. So, yeah, you know, people like Odysseus and Jason, and you know, Jason makes a big deal of, you know, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the deadliest, but I sure can work things out. So yeah, so overcoming things and solving problems has always been my thing, which sort of got me into computers, but I didn't really want to do it for other people, because the sorts of problems corporations want to solve is a problem of selling more widgets, isn't it? Yeah, you see, climb every mountain. So yeah, and I think people do get something out of, there you go, there's a little wild orchid. How about that? Out here in this kind of like woodland sort of wilderness. So yeah, I didn't know this was here. So yeah, so I always like people like Sherlock Holmes, and where, you know, if you stood in a different position to a problem, you know, you had a better chance of solving it than with violence or money. You know, I never really liked the Phileas Fogg, you know, white upper class guy solving stuff with money. Although, has to be said, Phileas Fogg is kind of a class outsider in Around the World in 80 Days. You know, for a large portion of the book, he's on the run from the law because they think he's committed a crime. And not only a crime, but the greatest crime, to have robbed the Bank of England. So yeah, when you start threatening wealthy people's money, you know, they get proper pissed off. So yeah, and I know I keep referring to this whole class war thing, but if you've grown up in the absence of money and you're told to work hard and strive, and you still don't have money, then you're going to be ticked off about it, the whole thing. So going back to the bit I was going on about before. Oh, I know where I am now. I'm going the wrong way. So going back to the bit I was before, there, a bit of me says learning how to be comfortable with your situation through various techniques is kind of supporting the status quo, and Confucianism is very much, know your place. And a lot of these technologies for making you have a happier life is kind of like it's very much about accepting how life is, and I get that. Me making videos is not going to change how life is. It's just not, but me helping people to not realise their potential, that's more YouTube CEO crap, but to realise maybe how awesome they are and redefine the system, maybe not even in my lifetime, maybe at some point we'll have removed labour. But the problem with that is when you take out the labour equation, we're perfectly capable of building machines right now that will take out all the crappy stuff so people can follow something that they're good at, which is very fulfilling. But I don't believe for a second that it will be easy to take down that system. Just won't. Because the people who stand the most to gain for the system remaining as it is enjoy a lot of privilege and power as a result, and they're addicted to it. They're not going to just stand down and go, well, okay, it's better for everybody if we just don't have billions of dollars in wealth. And I'm not saying they're even consciously doing it. That's the thing. I think if things were more like, say, the social hierarchy of Star Trek, then people would be healthier. I don't think it's healthy to strive like that. I think some people strive like that in order to make the world a better place, and their personality might not make it seem so. I genuinely believe Elon Musk, most of his stuff, most of the things he's done have probably improved the state of the world, but he's still, working his people to death and fairly ruthless. But, electric cars, commercial space travel, the things that really need to be done. We need to get off this rock. We're running out of resources and space. We need to get out there. We need to get onto maybe we can do something with the moon. Those people live in, there's no reason you couldn't create the sort of tunnel system like in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. So I don't think he's necessarily maintaining it or part of the problem of the system. I think he's breaking a lot of the barriers, but I can't think of too many examples. He freed people up from having to be limited to what they can buy by physically going to a store. Now some people could say that's a bad thing because of all the people that work in retail, but others might say, but it's brought technology to the masses with PayPal, so you can buy stuff on eBay without needing a credit card necessarily. So it's progress of a kind. But yeah, those people don't want it to change. But there's a lot of technology that makes people feel better, and I wonder if you could argue that making people feel better through various techniques couldn't make them achieve more potential. So I want to try out some of this technology. I'm going to call it, I don't know, spiritual tech, shall we say. And I don't like the word spiritual. Psychic tech isn't any better. Anyway, I'm going to stick with spiritual technology. If anybody out there comes out with a better term, we'll use that. So we're going to have a crack at I don't know, meditation, yoga, you know, good nutrition. You know, if somebody that wants to make the world a better place, or make their part of it a better place, and then share how they did that, because we've got that other piece of technology that you could argue is not 100% good for us. We're seeing that with young people now. Young people are under more stress because of the internet and social media than anything else, so it's causing harm like any technology can, like electricity can. It's causing harm, but it's also doing some good. So let's use this piece of technology. Let's use, you know, spiritual technology from thousands of years ago. Maybe there's even new forms of spiritual technology. So I'm going to keep saying it until people hate it and they come up with a better term. You know, maybe we can do that. Maybe we can wield that in some way. You know, the landowner invents armour. You know, the peasantry invents the bodkin arrow. What if we could be the bodkin arrow? You know, if you know your history, it was one of the principal weapons at Agincourt. It wasn't necessarily that they had loads of archers with heavy, powerful bows, so they had arrows that could penetrate armour, which completely redefined the power of the working class. It took them a long time to realise it, and arguably we still haven't realised that Henry V didn't win Agincourt. It was a bunch of Welsh archers that were using the right kind of arrow made by a blacksmith. So the working classes won Agincourt. The working classes fought in the Second World War. It doesn't matter who won and who lost, really. But the people that make, you know, wars of independence and freedom, well, not necessarily, I mean, we're considerably freer, but we're not free because of that war. We're free because after that war we'd realised we'd fought a war in order to protect the interests of the wealthy, or the ideologies of the wealthy, and we were going to take less bullshit off them after that. First World War, it was almost impossible to hire people as servants in the UK, for instance. After the First World War there was a general strike, which they don't talk to you about in school. You know, progress happens. It protected the interests of the wealthy in the empire and of Britain and all that. But it's us that makes it change. People at the bottom that fight other people at the bottom and then realise it's a crock of crap. So yeah, but basically, I'm not going to go on about this class war. It is a war, but at the moment it's being fought very quietly. In other countries, South America, you know, socialism and unionism, they're people fighting for their lives. People fighting for their lives in order to slightly improve the conditions at, you know, big conglomerates' factories. And I want a cookie for not naming them. That's not the point here. But know that right now all around the world, whew, this is pretty steep, look. But a good workout. I am a lazy slob, and I must drive the weakness from my body. But yeah, you know, if you go really big picture on it, it's a very distressing sort of thing to think about. But we need to go little picture, get ourselves strong, get ourselves sorted out, get ourselves happy, but with that knowledge that things has got to change. Imagine going to sleep at night knowing every child's well looked after. Imagine you'd sleep like a rock. Anyway, going to end our woodland patrol there. Thanks for watching and take care.